Homelander versus Mr. Incredible. You would never really think that these two characters would cross paths, but if they ever did, well, who's gonna come out on top? Who would ultimately win? And really, would it even be close? Let's get into it. So, if we're talking about Homelander, well, for starters, he's a psychopath, a truly unhinged lunatic. He's beefed with a baby before. He's got no problem killing anybody. He's got a weird thing for milk, which is just weird. But the real question is just exactly how strong is this guy? Well, he is quite literally the strongest man in the world and has never met anyone who's been his pure physical equal. And I guess you could argue that Soldier Boy exists now, but I don't even know if Soldier Boy is his true equal. Sure, Soldier Boy can give Homelander a good fight, but Homelander said it himself.
Oh no. I'm the upgrade.
Soldier Boy can injure him, can blow him up with those explosions that would also theoretically depower him. But in a straight up fight, Homelander is still winning that one. He was still winning that one. He's easily crushed skulls, punched into a man's stomach, and just casually tossed people hundreds of feet into the air. Also, since Homelander is the strongest hero in the world, it logically makes sense that he's stronger than all the other members of the Seven. He's stronger than Stormfront, who easily destroyed a building. He's stronger than Queen Maeve, who easily stopped a speeding armored truck. And stronger than A-Train, who was able to pull a locomotive after having just broken his leg. And he is like way stronger than them. Homelander was able to casually knock off the door of a pressurized plane. But there is one thing. He did say he was actually not able to carry the hijacked plane to safety. So he kind of killed a whole lot of people there with that one. But it does suggest that he's actually unable to use his full strength while he's up in the air. Either that, or while he could lift and move the plane, the outside of the plane is so fragile, it would just end up punching right through it when he tried to push against it. I think he probably could have saved the plane or moved the plane if he wanted to though. Bottom line, regardless, Homelander's pretty strong. But while Homelander is strong, well, durability is definitely Homelander's weakest asset. Not really because he's not durable, but just because he's never really had anything truly test his durability. He's bulletproof, was unscathed by a bus and rebel crashing down on top of him, but the guy is obviously intended to be invincible. It was said that if Homelander ever turned against America, turned against Vought, they'd have no way to take him down. It's also said that there isn't a weapon on Earth that they haven't thrown at him. They've all failed. Obviously, this is including nukes. So just from those statements, Homelander is incredible. But here's the thing, it is totally possible that Homelander actually isn't as durable as he makes himself out to be, or as everyone else makes him out to be. I mean, Soldier Boy was getting his hits in, getting some dang good hits while he was at it, even gave Homelander some bruises. Queen Maeve went against him, stabbed him right straight in the ear hole. You get a little deeper there and Homelander is done for. Even Stormfront was able to throw him around. But that one was definitely more the kinky type of roughhousing, rather than the I'm gonna beat your face in now type. Another thing is, just like Homelander doesn't have a ton of durability feats, doesn't really have a ton of speed feats. I mean, in fact, I don't think we've ever seen Homelander's speed in a fight, except maybe like once or twice. That being said though, he is really pretty fast when he's just flying around. He's regularly flown at Mach speed, even reached up to Mach 5 while saving Butcher from that C4 explosion. Instead, while Homelander does have all these incredible powers, and sometimes he'll have to use them in a fight, more often than not, Homelander is just completely spamming his heat vision all over the place. And for the most part, well, it really is effective. He can easily slice through flesh and bone, just kill people with one glance, and he can also use it against other supers and send them flying backwards. All in all, well, Homelander is pretty powerful. Easily the most powerful super we've seen with the boys so far. Bob Parr was one of the original supers, possessing the power of incredible superhuman strength. During the glory days, he spent most of his time doing superhero work, until he fell in love and got married to Elastigirl. He then retired, mostly because superheroes and vigilantism was made illegal, and he spent years working an ordinary job and living an ordinary life, until eventually a secret organization reached out to Bob to get him back into the superhero business. Bob eagerly joined up, without knowing he was actually falling into the trap of Syndrome, who swore revenge on all superheroes, especially Mr. Incredible. But it takes more than that to beat the Incredibles, the world's greatest superhero family. Mr. Incredible's main power is super strength, and he really is super strong. He's the strongest super that we've seen in any of the movies or in this whole world. He's able to lift over 50 tons as just a baseline. When he gets angry, or especially when his family's threatened, well, he can throw around even more. While Bob was trying to get himself back into shape, he was casually working out with whole train cars, making it look easy. He's the only hero that was strong enough to fight and beat the Omnidroid, then was able to overpower an upgraded, more powerful version of the same robot. He's regularly throwing around vehicles, lifting dozens of tons like it's easy, knocking out opponents with just one hit. And while he does have his limits, if his limit is struggling to lift a nuclear submarine, well then I would say he's pretty freaking strong. Mr. Incredible is also ridiculously tough. Some might say he's dang near invincible. He was completely unhurt by attacks from the Omnidroid, when that same robot had killed pretty much every other super out there. He was repeatedly ragdolled and thrown around by the robot, unfazed. Hit by a train, unfazed. Taken point-blank explosions, thrown through a building. He's been blasted by laser guns, survived hundreds of thousands of volts of electricity. Nothing seems able to put Mr. Incredible down for more than a few seconds. Mr. Incredible's also got a few decades of experience at the whole superhero game, so he knows a thing or two. He's a capable fighter, an expert at using his powers. He's actually a pretty good strategist, like tricking the Omnidroid into attacking itself. So who wins? Well, let's break it down. Now, first things first, Mr. Incredible is the stronger one out of the two, because while the best we've seen from Homelander is kind of maxing out at around potentially lifting an airplane, weighing somewhere between 40 and 60 tons, well, Mr. Incredible has got that easily beat. Being able to hold his own against the Omnidroid is way more impressive than anything that Homelander has ever done, that's for sure. Then even lifting that submarine over his head, well, on the low end, that thing was weighing at least 15,000 tons. So a whole lot more than anything Homelander has ever done. Mr. Incredible is definitely stronger. He's really good at throwing that strength around. Now, Homelander has never really had his durability tested all that much. I mean, sure, he was put through a lot of tests by the military, but I'm talking about having it tested in actual superhero fights. But from what we've actually seen, I don't think he's all that tough. Because sure, there's all that talk about him being able to take every weapon known to man and survive nuclear bombs or whatever, but that's more than likely just marketing propaganda. I mean, Vought made up Homelander's whole backstory and history, just like they did with every member of the Seven. They definitely made that one up too. Sure, they tested his durability, and he is really tough, that much is true, but just a few attacks from Soldier Boy were enough to give him bruises. Just a few attacks from Queen Maeve were enough to make him bleed. and there's no way that those punches were packing the power of a nuke behind them. Homelander just isn't as tough as he'd want you to believe. On the other hand, nothing has actually been able to injure Mr. Incredible, and he's taken a whole lot worse attacks than Homelander ever has. Even if we're just comparing it to Queen Maeve and Soldier Boy's punches, Omnidroid straight up throwing Mr. Incredible through buildings and ragdolling him around is a whole lot worse. Those are a whole lot more powerful attacks, and Mr. Incredible is able to take it with ease. Even if you want to talk about Homelander's heat vision, well, Mr. Incredible's taken energy blasts from the Omnidroid. So there's an argument there that he can take the heat vision too. Although at the same time, that probably is Homelander's best attack in this fight. But even if Mr. Incredible is stronger, and even if Mr. Incredible is tougher, the best thing going from here is that he's more experienced. He's been fighting crime for decades. He's able to clear out whole rooms of supervillains. He's faced bigger threats than Homelander before, and he even knows how to fight Homelander's specific powers. Like he knows to use thunderclaps when fighting against super speed, because he's done it with his son Dash. On the other hand, Homelander has never really faced off against someone more powerful than him. When he has, well, he's been embarrassed. Homelander is just a bully who gets by on being stronger and more powerful than everyone else. But when he finally runs into someone who's the stronger and more powerful one, well, it's not gonna go well for him. Mr. Incredible wins. It's not even close. But what do y'all think? Sound off in the comments down below. I know you're gonna have thoughts and feelings on this one for sure. If you stuck around this long and made it to the end of the video, that's amazing. Thank you so much for watching and for supporting us. And if you want to go subscribe, well, go subscribe. You're going to see more videos like this one every single week. I'll see y'all then. I'll see y'all next time.